All right, so we are live now. Let me see if I can share the video with my friends, and then we will start soon. Perfect. Right. So thank you. We already have 3 people that have joined. We are going to start. So thank you everyone that have already joined the U10 show. Welcome again to the U10 show on Saturday. If you are new, if this is your first time, then the U10 is a platform that is empowering our South Sudanese community worldwide with resources, information, and real life stories that will propel our people to make a real U turn in their own lives and in their own communities. So, thank you for sharing this video to reach your network, people that might benefit from this conversation. Today, actually, is a special day. We are joined by my dear esteemed friend now, Queen Atem. To me, when I first spoke with Kwe, I was inspired because for someone like Kwe, who is one of trailblazers in our community, to connect with us and be part of this platform, it was very humbling. Kwe's story, I don't want to. It's one that will inspire all of you and all of us today. Was South Sudanese diaspora, was South Sudanese that are pushing for change in our country, in our own life, in our families. So Kui is actually one of WUSC scholars that not many people know, but today I'll be storyteller. So Quenda, I don't want to take the shine away from you. There are already many people that are watching this show, so I just want to give you this platform to share, your journey, your story, and what inspired you to become now an advocate for diaspora communities and to be part of the U10 movement to bring change in our community.
Let me get a glass of water. Just 1 second. Yeah.
Thank you. So great. I did job, so she's taking some water. And please share this conversation. I see a beautiful Antiol is already here with us. Thank you, my dear. Thanks for joining the show. Let this show reach your friends. Let this show reach many people that can benefit from it. Queen Atem story is one that is special, and it's one that is empowering. Not many people, Chiren, online talking about change. Many people are who have already achieved something in their own life, in their own families. They are busy building their own future and not thinking about community. And if someone come back to use the experience, the education, their expertise to impact community, then listening to their stories is powerful. So Kwenda, thank you so much. And I'm blessed that you are here with us.
I don't know what's going on.
It's internet, but it's absolutely fine. We can hear your voice.
God.
And thank you, Alakir, for being part of the conversation. Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you're warping in, Kwe. You're very clear.
But the volume is too low for me now. I don't know what happened. Somebody call.
Maybe you can log out and come back.
And come back? Okay.
Okay. In the meantime, maybe Alakir, Kilva, Barar introduce and maybe share why you're excited about today.
I mean, people already know me. Anyway, I'm so excited to be here today. It doesn't show in my voice or my face. I'm just not feeling well, but I'm dancing here, and I'm really excited to learn from Kuei. I listen to Akwalakur, and it sounds like she's an amazing person. doing great things and advocate for community and women. I hope to take something away from today's conversation from Kuei Jani. Yeah, so I'm excited to be in this space. And if you're watching and you're also excited and you think this story could change somebody's life, just send them the link, or share share the video on your page for people to come and see it. I also want to give a shout out to everyone that is following the U-turn. We recently hit 5,000 followers, and if I was speaking in front of 5,000 people right now in one room, that gives you a picture of how many people actually believe in what we're doing, and we're grateful that you show up every Saturday. Um, you have busy weeks, and then you still use your Saturday to come here and listen in. So thank you. Kuei is back. I will give it over to her.
My greeting to all the U-turn viewers all over the world. My name is Kuei Atem, and I also go by Ahok Atem. So I'm so happy to be here today, and I want to congratulate my beautiful ladies, the change makers, Madam Akwal and Madam Alakir. You know, when I first came across U-turn, I look at it and I say, this is the connection I need. This is the women that I need to connect with, because I come to learn their story when I spoke to Akwal that these children, they were children. They are children to me. I'm their senior. I'm the older sister, so I will still call them children, my little sisters. So when she talked to me and told me she came through the WUSC program, they also came through WUSC program. I was inspired also by them, because when I came to Canada in 2004 October, I actually came with a quite older brother. Ngong, what a small world. So we came at that time, and so many people ask me and they say, "How did you come to Canada?" I will tell them how I came through WUSC program, and they will say, "Oh, Kuei, you are so smart. You came through WUSC program." I always tell them, I am one of the smartest, but not really smart. I was chosen to come to Canada by God, because there's something He wants me to do. There are so many other people that are smart back home and they're not here. Why are you here? Why are you in diaspora? One thing that I need to make clear from the get-go is for us to know, when we come to Canada, we came not to seek green pastures. As South Sudanese, we came because of safety. We came to seek refuge. And after we have found our country and we have gotten the sovereignty of the nation, we are supposed to be working towards transitioning back home, because we came here to get equipped, take the equipment back, the knowledge, the skills, the positive culture that we have learned in this country. But it sounds like we are struggling at this time. We are struggling. So I want to thank Akwal and the team for choosing to use social media as a platform for social and positive change in our community and all over the world. So my journey started, as I already mentioned. I came through WUSC program in 2004, and I went to University of Saskatchewan. I graduated in 2009, then went back. I did crime and law, and then I went back to school, and I went through a different path. I'm currently practicing as a mental health clinician. That's my career in Canada. So my journey was actually not, my journey to advocate for diaspora is not inspired. It was conviction that made me to start this journey. I was convicted by the pain that our women and children are going through in diaspora. When I say women and children, the pain of the mother, the pain of the child. They are connected, always connected. If a mother is happy, the child is happy. If a child is not happy, the mother is not happy. So why do I say that? For 1 second. That's the child. I was talking about children, but there's a child crying. Well, so we have gone through a lot of things in Canada and US, Australia, Europe, and many other countries that are in diaspora. Our children are dying almost every day. This is a true life story. In Calgary, almost every weekend, there's a burial for a child. We have witnessed the killing of the young in Calgary. The young man was killed and left on the street for almost 24 hours. And nothing was done until this day. No justice was served. And when I see things like that, I felt like this is like we are being abandoned. The government that we vote for, the referendum that we fought for, have actually forgotten us. And we need to get the support from the government of South Sudan and the government of Canada. I'm talking about Canada now. So when these cases are happening in Canada, we don't feel supported by the government of Canada. We don't feel supported by the government of South Sudan because we know very well Canada is a dual citizenship nation. So we have a right to participate in the government back home, and we have a right to participate in the government here. We need protection from both. So with me as a human, I say, I have to go back home. It was not an easy thing to do, but I started to prepare to go back home and face the government and ask them a simple question. What happened to the diaspora? What happened to us? So I went, that was in 2022, and I met with the government officials, and I expressed my grievances about our cases and how they've forgotten us. So what happened at that time, they make some arrangement for me to meet with the minister of the ambassador of Canada and the minister for foreign affairs of South Sudan. So we met, and I told both of them, actually, I did not come to talk to the government of Canada in South Sudan. I had come to talk to the government of South Sudan, not government of Canada. One of the most important things that I brought up is, why did they forget us? Our children are dying. Our children are being deported. And when they get deported, because in Canada, the rule is, if you are not born in Canada and you commit a crime that deserves life imprisonment, then you don't stay in Canada. You'll be deported. And the reality of things is, some of the children that came with us, some of them were like 5 years, 3 years, like even 1 year. But by law of Canada, they are considered not Canadian by birth. So if they commit a crime, they'll be deported. So these children, they are deported back home. And at the airport, the government will receive them. You will see government official receiving them. And after they've been received, what happened after that? Nobody knows. But I know what happened. They'll be told to go to find their families. And these children have no connection back home. A lot of them died. This December, there's one of the children that was deported from Calgary. He was found dead at Konya Konya market. The family's here in Canada. So when I talked with the head of mission for Canada, he actually said, it's not us, it's the government of South Sudan. They are supposed to give you an embassy in Canada to address our issues. So I have continued on fighting. When I basically say I have nothing to lose. If our children are dying in diaspora and people are dying back home, then there's nothing I'm losing. Should as well talk. And I know when I talk, whenever you're talking the truth, nothing can hurt you. And my power doesn't come from a human. My power comes from God and only God. When I speak from conviction. I cannot see humans suffering and just be quiet about it. This is why you and me are in diaspora. You came for a mission. I remember when I was asked, when I was doing my interview with the embassy of Canada, the visa officer asked me, "What are you going to do in Canada?" So I told them, what I'm going to do, I want to be a productive citizen. I want to contribute to the development of Canada and also of South Sudan. And I know all of us, when we came to this country or to any other Western diaspora nation, you had mentioned this to them. Your heart was to come, establish yourself, get secure financially, economically, education-wise, and then you go home and build the nation. That's why we are talking. First of all, our government needs to acknowledge that diaspora are important. Diaspora are part of this nation building, and we cannot be forgotten. My inspiration, now I'm going to inspiration. My inspiration comes from people like Mother Teresa. And we know Mother Teresa, what she have done. She left her country and went to India, where people were suffering. My other inspirations and why I pursued my education in Kakuma, where it was like so hostile, so hot, I would have chosen to get married and I would be okay. But I choose not to get married at that time because I know there's something I need to do. My other inspiration come from Sisara Mandit. Sisara Mandit from Baragazal. She's the only Nyanjing Chibanbeke sister. There are so many people in South Sudan today who were educated by Sisara Mandit. My other inspiration come from my sister, my dear, and my inspiration, my sister, my cousin. She is, her name is Akon Bolako Benjamin Bol. She was the one that I saw doing great thing in Europe. So I thought, if I study hard, I'll be like Akon. Another inspiration came from Agon Lake. In Kakuma, she came to do the host program. I think I was still in grade what? I think I was maybe in grade 11 or Form 3 or Form 2. And I went and approached. I say, "You inspire me so much." I know I hold her hand. I say, "Thank you so much. You inspire me so much. I love you." I told her that. So I said, me, I want to be like her. I must study. I must get a host program. So that's how my inspiration comes. Those are my inspirations. But what I'm doing right now is not inspiration. It's a conviction and pain. Last week, we had a meeting with the SPLM Women League in Canada. We met with one of the top government officials. And they express how they are bleeding. They are telling the government they are bleeding. They are bleeding because their children are dying in Canada or in another Western country that we are in. And they are bleeding because now people are dying, their children are dying. The military is their children. The government officials are our children. We are the mothers. We feel their pain all the time. If you say I'm bleeding, it's something deep. It's like, be good po bajar kwer. Go over there. Women, we are the change. We are the mothers. And that's why I say I have nothing to lose, because I'm mother. You know, that means you have a descendant that is coming, so you don't care. You need not to work for them. And I would tell the people, I'm not doing this just for you. I'm doing it for me, for my children. We have to have a home. That's my inspiration and conviction for your first question.
Wow, 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 wow. Yeah, yeah. No, thank you so much. But take some water. And if you have just joined the show, thank you so much for joining. And please share this video so that many people can reach. My sister Catherine, thanks for sharing your journey and your conviction. When I heard that you came through WUSC program in 2004, that was a long time ago. I was in grade 3 primary school. I was not even thinking about, Canada or WUSC. And when you say something that, Kakuma at the time, I would have just, and get them on the TV Lost Boy at the time, 2 or 3, because Lost Boy started coming in 2000, 2001. And then by 2 or 4, they were now coming back to Kakuma to marry. And had you, given up in school, on there, about whatever you are doing. At the time, maybe many of them now are doing well. But really, you really talk about education and the impact of that education and the reason for that education you had. I know you say you know our ladies, and our ladies around you 2 or 4, I think, something, but you end up getting who's great. So yeah, I am really inspired by your journey and the fact that you still think about your people and the suffering of women in diaspora connects so much in youth and if many people audience want to know youth and our youth and because what is suffering in diaspora like diaspora just like not a roki like anything can happen to you, and we have seen it. Chiman can highlight already Canada mit ko ke ya crime ke to prison diar ko dadu a lot of economic challenges, socio-economic challenges. We families break apart, and the are victim can meet that inspire you. So we said we need a U-turn. And hearing from you, someone who has lived here for long, with Putin, who have gone back home and realize, back home and here, there's no way forward. Someone needs to stand up. It's really empowering. So thank you so much for sharing. But to ask the next question. But I really want to ask you, Wekodai, if you have any question, chat it at the end. Catherine to answer, and I also put a link there for a page that Catherine, created here, South Sudan diaspora affairs to talk about issues of diaspora. So you can still go and have that join that page and talk privately with Catherine Kuei. But for now, thank you, Alakir, for asking the next question. And thank you so much for your journey, Catherine.
I feel so honored and blessed to be in your presence, Kuei. I really admire your conviction, your courage to do the things you want to do. And especially the question is going to be about, we all, I think to some extent, said the same answer to the same question. I'm going to Canada to get education, to come back home and build my country. That's how the story goes. But the reality is much different. And different as in between, there are men, there are women. For somebody to leave Canada and go back home, the story goes a little differently depending on your gender. We can't ignore that. I want you to, as women, we're women in this room, and that's a personal question for me. Can you tell us about opportunities and challenges of, say, a woman leaves Canada with her talents, skills, knowledge, abilities, and try to go home to build something? What would, from your experience, what would you advise? What do you think is the best approach? How do we build relationships, professional relationships, and connections to get what we want to do? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alakir, for giving me another opportunity to answer this question. Yes, I thank God for the time that I had spent in South Sudan. I've learned a lot. And some people ask me, "Okay, when you went, did you get a job? Did they appoint you to do something?" I say, no, I did not go for a job. I went to do something different. I wasn't looking for a job. I have a job here. My job is a good job. It's a well-paid job. It's okay. I can manage here, but it's something different. I went to research and to observe because sometimes people can talk things, but you need to be in the present. You need to do some detective work and you need to do some observation work. So I went for both. I went for detective job and for observation. So when I went there, it's not easy. Like I'm saying here, I have nothing to lose. I'm saying the truth, and that's why I'm here. It's not easy for a woman to go back home. It doesn't matter if you have a PhD or whatever education you have. It's not easy to get your way into the system. It's challenging, and I will tell you why. This is not just for South Sudan. It had happened everywhere. That's why we have women movement in the Western countries. We have in Kenya now. I'm so proud of our sisters, Kenya. I say bravo to Kenyans. Kenya have fought hard, and now women in Kenya, they're working in freedom. Like still, the work to be done, but Kenyans have done a lot. But South Sudan, we are still a baby. We're still behind. Things are hard. So one first of the challenge that you face when they look at you, they still look at you as a woman. They don't care about the education you have. You'll be looked down upon. Someone could tell you, okay, let's meet. They'll know very well you have an education, but when you go, they will ask you to meet with them privately. And when you meet with them privately, what happened? First of all, they will ask you, where's your husband? If you are married, say, where's husband? If you say, I'm a married woman, my husband is so and so and is in this place, then they know that you are a committed wife. So whatever they want, they will not get. I'm not saying this is not to everyone, it's to some. And this happened it was happening in Canada, like some years back before it's 21st century. So you have to lower yourself to get what you want. I don't want to go into details, but you know what to lower yourself mean. To someone like me and you who had struggled, sweat in Kakuma, in that heat of Kakuma, and then someone ask you to lower yourself to get what belongs to you, is a no. Is a no. And how we can fight this is for us women to come together. We have 35% that's there, but that 35% is not free of charge. I'm telling you the honest truth. Is either your husband is in the system to get you in, then they'll fear your husband, or you have to lower yourself. This is the truth. If you don't lower yourself, it doesn't matter. This is from all the women. All the women, you need to lower yourself. So I'll tell you this is story. This is the women. Listen to me and listen to me very well. Don't lower yourself what belong to you. There's a man who had a friend. This is a true life story. He had a friend and he lent money to his friend. And his friend decided to bring the money back one particular morning. And the man was in the shower taking a bath. So somebody knocked the door and the woman went to the door. She was also having a shower. And so she rushed to the door. In Africa, how when somebody knocked, you want to rush to open the door. She went with a towel. She rubbed herself with a towel. And then the man opened the door and the man was shocked that the woman came to the door with the towels on because she was also taking a shower. So the man asked the woman, where's the husband? She said, oh, he's in the bathroom, he's taking a shower. And the man said, okay, I have some money. And the woman said, what is it for? The man changed the story and say, well, this money I just want to give it to you, but with one condition. And the woman said, what's the condition? The man said, if you take off your towel. Remember, the woman have nothing on. It's just, she's like nothing on. And she said, woman is thinking about her situation, her financial struggle. We all struggle financially. So she's thinking, oh, look at this money, and to lower the towel. And then she said, you're not going to do anything to me? The man said, no, just if you lower the towel, I will leave the money at the door and I will back up. I will not do anything, just to lower the towel. That's all. Just take the towel off. The woman took a minute to think about it, and she went through in her head the thing that she could pay it, the thing that she could do with this money. The woman said, okay. She took off the towel, and the man put the money to the door, to the gate, and left. So the money went, she put on her towel, and she went and grabbed the money. She went back inside. So now the man is done, her husband is done showering, and asked, who was at the door? She said, oh, it was your friend. He came asking for you and he's left now. She didn't explain what happened. She did not say what happened in there. And the husband asked her, did he give you the money he borrowed from me? Let's think about that. The woman went into a shock mode. She lowered the towels for what belonged to her. The man have seen her nakedness for her own money. So women, let's not lower our towels for what belongs to us. The 35% is for us and more. So don't lower your towel. That's the answer to that question, Alakir. I don't know if I can explain that to Monjang. I understand women back home are struggling, and I don't blame them. You know, as a mother, if you see your child suffering, no food, and nothing, no choice, you will offer your life for your child. So these are happening in Junub because women need to feed their children. But us, the diaspora, we will not do that. We are their voice. We will not look down upon them, and we will not look at as if they don't know what they are doing. We cannot challenge them. It's because of the situation. So that's the answer to that question.
Thank you. Thank you. It's just to add the, how do you call it, Canada, a bunch of different leaders have recently announced that domestic violence is an epidemic, and it's an epidemic, and majority of the people suffering and victims are women and children. So when I ask this question, I know it's happening everywhere in South Sudan, even worse because of the living situation, poverty, essentially no protection for women, because these stories are not the exception, they're the norm. And usually what happened after that? So what happened after that goes a little more like, now women have to think, do I tell, I'm talking about your example, do I tell my husband about this? Is my husband the person who's going to protect me if I become vulnerable and share this experience with him? If you have a father, do I tell my father? Would my father protect me? Would my brothers protect me? And most families operate from a point of shame. Do not bring shame to the family. Do not tell people what happened to you. Do not do kajbiryogu. So that culture is so hurtful to women in many ways. But I really like the point of connecting as women, identifying allies. So if you go back home and there's a woman doing great things that is in a position of power and can relate to your cause, so you connect with them, because men can be allies, but it can be dangerous as well. So thank you, Kuei, for sharing. I will give it back to Akwal to ask the next question.
Yeah, no, this is really a sad story and very educational. Quite many people are commenting. Apa jog, alu comment. Sam Garang, alu comment. Akol Zulu, and so many others. Thomas Ball, Hajaping. What it mean to lower yourself, to lower the towel? Maybe meaning the Hajaping now from the story, and so many others that are watching the video. They are connecting. They are resonating with you and the sad situation of women when it comes to pursuing change in systems that don't recognize them, that don't respect them as human beings, I take dignity as human beings, that continue to oppress them. Those systems. So thank you for sharing your experience and what you think. So Sudan conversation when something is shared, it can speak to the power, and then when we start talking openly about these things, then the next thing a book or the shame, we will now be mentioning people's name. And
Yep.
when we start doing that, then a change will happen. People will hide
Yep.
themselves, and that is where change will happen. So it starts slowly, and the U-turn will come. That is our hope, that there will be U-turn, that women will be welcome in spaces. So you mentioned, those challenges for women. Those are women on the ground, and now when women from abroad and they want to go and make change on the ground, they also get into trouble. So I just want you to bring the conversation back. And my next question is about, the diaspora. Now, how can we use our diaspora, power, one on influence, one on connection, one of the world. For example, if I need to make a change in education system, kind of connection one university, I have connection one UBC, I have connection one University of Toronto, U of T, and I can leverage those platforms plus organization to give me something so how can we, that is one example, but to your question, how can South Sudanese diaspora use the international networks to influence so many things, including peace building back home and institutional reforms for women and children?
Thank you so much for this question. This is the key, and I want to make it clear to the diasporant. Diasporant, you are the hope for the peace and stability in South Sudan. I'm saying this again. Every diasporant, if you are in diaspora and you are South Sudanese, you are the hope for this nation. Why do I say this? We should be acting from a neutral point of view. Why? Because we are in a country where they have come for hundreds of years. They have gone through the same process that we are going through now. Our country is going through, it's normal. Whatever is happening in South Sudan is normal. Every country that is established today has gone through the same process. So we cannot beat ourselves down too much that, our country is breaking down, it's collapsing. This is a process. For anything good to come, we have to go through pain. In the Bible, they say you are put through the melting pot, like, the gold has to be melted. When you have gold, like pure gold, what I'm wearing is not gold, but one who have gold, this is not gold, this is just a necklace. But to get that 22%, that 22 karat gold, it has to go through like this heat. It has to be really melted for it to come out pure. For me, I'm an optimistic person. I believe whatever you are seeing now is going to turn into something beautiful. South Sudan will be like another country that you have seen in the world. To be like Canada, will be like US, will be like Australia, these other European countries, or even the Asian country will be stable. But this have to come from us. The Bible, this story, I'm taking you back to the Bible, because our country, we all know when we were fighting, we were calling the name of God. All of us were calling God. I remember Bishop Nathaniel Garang Anyet, I honored him. He prayed for us. He prayed. The song we make song. There are so many songs that were made for Junub, for Nyalik Bogampanda. Now we have it. Now we have the country. Kewok or diaspora, we have to rally together and act from a neutral point of view. Let's see things neutral. Let us not look at the tribe. I know there's a lot going on right now. But diaspora, if we come together like what Akwal said, you have influence, you have connection in the West. Even your place of work, your colleague at work, if you go and mention to them this is happening in our country, they will all rally and we come together. When I say we come together, it's not by force. You cannot go into online and threaten the government and expect change. Come on, people. You cannot threaten the government and expect change. Threat does not work anywhere, even with your children. Parents with children, they know that. If you call it ben metchol kubel kubaku you lar kujungudilo, that child will not change. But natural met kunyuipin, you call the child, sit down and reason with the child, reason with them. Man kana alle benang change lorot. Lakin if you come with I don't know what's going on.
So you see here on the screen, maybe someone tried to call your phone, but we can hear your voice in the by your question, but those for you can fix that.
Hello?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you very
Hello?
clearly, and we cannot see you. Maybe you can log out and come back.
Hello? My God, I have to go again.
So yeah, so thank you all, Wekodai, and thank you for participating with us. Bear with us, a technical issue. Catherine will be back, but the point that she was trying to say, if I get it clearly, and all of you, was that what you call advocacy. So I was actually listening to that from perspective of the UTAN, right, and those other platform online here that speak about circumstances the South Sudanese, quite a South Sudan on the ground, and the thing that we also do here, Kwe is back, so I've been told. But what I was hearing was that when you try to threat government, just like you try to threat your children, you will not get the response you need. So Kwe, take it away. I was just trying to paraphrase what you were putting across. Thanks for coming back.
Thank you. Thank you. I don't know what happened. I apologize. So at diaspora, we are the hope for this nation. We are the hope for South Sudan. We need to rally up, but we need also to avoid the language of threat. The language of threat is causing more harm than good. Yes, if you threaten me, if you call me and threaten me to change, I will not change. In fact, I will fight back. But you call me and say, okay, I think you're looking really beautiful with the outfit you're wearing. But if you could just fix the collar is like was open. If you fix it, it will look amazing. It will look so good. The language of like how to communication and the language make a big difference. Always make a difference. So we have the power. If you truly love your people back home, I know we are all connected back home. I still have my family there. You have your family there. Let's bring change. The 64 tribe in diaspora need to get together, rally together, and let's advocate for change for good. When you are in this country, you have that ability to connect with international community. When I say international community, I don't want to say they have the power to make change. The change will come from within us, the South Sudanese diaspora, the South Sudanese in the country. We are the one to make change, but we still need the support. Like when it comes to resources, to come to when you say like the policy implementation, we need the international community, because I know we have the government, but who is the head of the government is our president, and we have African Union, and we have the UN, we have all these bodies that can help us to negotiate and implement policies that will actually leverage the peace that we are looking for in our country. So diaspora, I want to encourage you, use your influence, use the opportunity that God has given you to bring change to your country. Please let's avoid the language of hate in social media. Let everyone create a platform that will encourage peace, and let encourage the language of change. Let us change. Let the government change the policies that are affecting our women, that are affecting. I know the government is trying. It's just that we're still in the working stages of baby. When we talk about women being affected, being looked down upon, Do you think there's no law? They are there. They are actually in our constitution to protect women. But we need to go to the grassroots and change the mindset of people, how they used to look at a woman. And by the way, Africans were like the Aboriginal of this country of Canada. Women were the top. Women were esteemed in our country, in our communities. We were the top.
Say it again. Say it again. I want you to emphasize that, because when we start this U-turn advocacy and we talk about women empowerment, you feminist Western world, you agent of the West.
No.
And one way I was saying, feminism in the West. Like our African women, like our society was matriarchal society. It was a society that was led by women, just like indigenous people here. White matriarch. Patriarchy and colonization. So we want to make U-turn to where women had power. And when women had power, there was peace. We need to make a U-turn. So now talk about feminism from perspective of Africa, from perspective of the U-turn. I want you to repeat that. And we're copying. Thank you for joining, and thank you, Farah, for supporting us. You like our show. You like the speaker. Thank you, Apa Biar, for joining. Thank you so much, Catherine. And Apa Julius, thank you for supporting us and sharing the message. So back to you, where you interrupt, because I like that part, that women have already, can empower in our indigenous ways. But where did that power go? And now why the Jatingo is object for exploitation?
This it's because we don't look back. We don't know the history. We don't know who we are. Back ten Monjang, any Africans nations, we were led by women. Women were our leaders. They were Akeke Sultan. Okay, like even now, not even 100 years, like even a few that in Barkazal Barkazal, Tigan Kamuk Alamitit. There's a place called Marialba in Awil. Before the paramount chief that died, it was a woman. The mother gave the leadership to the son, but she was the paramount chief. It was there. So back in the days, you go to Bible, we talk about the King Solomon, and when he came to Africa, who was the queen that came to come and give gift to King Solomon? She was the king. She was the queen of Ethiopia. We are the Ethiopian at that time. So this feminism, this discrimination just came with colonization. It just came recently. Same, we were honored because Tik and Maxulia, they knew Tik, when a woman cooked food, she will share it equally. But Tik Chambutan, Abuka Mwajiban, make sure I'm going to. So Tik Ban, she will make sure everyone is fat. She will make sure that there's no discrimination. Women will not tolerate the discrimination because they feel the pain. To put a baby into their belly so they connect and they nurture you like their own children. So it's not a new thing. Maybe people don't know, but it's not a new thing. We are always I did my gender study and I was in a class. So I did my research and I came to present in my class. So, my professor was expecting me to say, the way we are abused, this is a common thing here, we are being paid off dowry and we've been like this and this. And I say, we are the people that who honor women in Africa. And she said, you wonder why? I say, first of all, listen, the dowry that we pay, they have to appreciate the family of the girl for what they have done, for raising them. Number two, we don't change our names to the husband name, which means we still belong to our family. So with these two things, who is now the one that honored the woman? We are not sold. The dowry that we see is to appreciate the family of the girl. So, Kaikwa, Bianca, this is not just Western. I know our name are tarnished back home. Diaspora Diharkin. When I went, I have to fight every time to explain it that we are not like that. Our coaching folk, we are the ones that are wrecking homes. We are the ones that they don't understand. But Kaikwa, it needs time for them to digest what we are saying. But time will come. It's going to go. Now, this is the starting point. When you start on something, it's better than not starting on something. We keep persisting. We keep educating our people. Take this nation also. The first thing I say, the hope at the diaspora, The second group that's the hope for this nation are women. South Sudan, the hope for the peace and stability in this nation is through women. Why? I already said it. Women are neutral. Women will look at you at the angle of love and care. So they will not tolerate violence and fight and corruption. Women will not tolerate that. So this is time for women to rise. It's time for them, if they really want their children not to die, they need to rally together. And I appreciate SPLM Women League, they're working hard. And I appreciate them for they recognize that now is the time for them to stand up and say enough is enough, and we need to lead. We need to lead. We need to be in the leadership position for us to make decisions and for us to make sure this country is going the way that we need it to go. The third group that's the hope for this nation are the youth. The youth in diaspora and the youth back home are the hope. Why? Because youth are neutral. Tongmonja, they say a girl has no boundary. They have no border. A youth can marry to anyone that they love, you know. So Rani Korkwe young, you don't know, but you end the know. You know, you could end up with the tribe that you hate the most. You will love somebody from there. So youth at this point, they're the one that to embrace and bring peace and stability. This is my message going to the youth. Please do not listen to what your parents are telling you about other tribes. Look, this is the 21st century. You are the hope for this nation. I encourage the youth from all over the world, like in diaspora and back home. We have seen what our youth have done for us. The basketball team has made our country so proud. This is the message. We are together. In that basketball team, we are proud that what are we doing to them? Are we supporting them? We need to support our youth and to embrace peace and to look for peace. Let's find it. Look for peace. Peace, Tatano. Where is peace? Is it from the external community or is it from South Sudanese themselves? The idea of us calling out international community is not the best. We need them to support us. It's like you come and tell me, Kuei, pray for me. And then you are just sitting like that. You're not praying. You have no faith. And expect God to answer your prayer. No. When you come to ask for prayer, you need to also to have faith and get connected and have faith and believe that when so-and-so pray for me, I will receive the answer. Then you get it. So we are calling international community and we are not doing anything. That's my answer.
Wow, 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 wow. Thank you so much. That is a very, very elaborate answer. And you have laid out three people or three categories of people that will bring change, that bring peace and stability in South Sudan. And one of them, a diaspora community to unite as one and champion peace and stability of South Sudan. And that is critical because our survival at South Sudan, our respect and integrity at South Sudan. If South Sudan is, fall apart today, our South Sudanese in diaspora, root, right? Even how would you even mention I'm South Sudanese Canadian? Because you go to they don't know what they're doing. Probably stereotypes that you don't know what you're doing. Even if you're the high office in diaspora and your backyard then you are like someone who bury your head in the sand. You are exposed. You are vulnerable. So that message is very strong, and it resonates with me personally. That we cannot just come here and hide ourselves. I usually advocate for diaspora to be strong here first, because when we have the ground here, who are with influence to effect change. But if we are falling apart here, and you brought up that point because they have been in our youth and advocacy that Louis advocate for women empowerment. I think up at your Julius that you mentioned that when it comes to women empowerment, go to it. Yes, I know go to it because women empowerment a big thing. But women empowerment diaspora tena a quarter back home you who are single, and they are bitter and frustrated and they just come and condemn our culture. And I lost causes. So walk away empowered women here in diaspora. What your lost causes? One of diaspora ci doy benter ware bo ci rapping by in the area that many people that really our community and country need teach on mental health a big deal work at all in many years of war and so trauma is deep in our people and having around people can even use their expertise their education to help people to understand challenges deeply than anybody else who understands. So we have to believe here you know so we need to always have pathway. And then I think I'm just reacting. Wrong system is then look at the point let the point back to the country and if country is not in order because I can to be anything. So that's why diaspora is very important. So thank you so much for highlighting that point. Another group actually women, of course, women at the core because women are 75% in South Sudan or even 80% the population. Women to on the ground, leave alone women to abroad. So they should be the central, to leadership to bring about stability. But I can to the colonial period where they are action voice. And we need to come out and try women because what you wrote for the last 20 years with Kennedy because democratic institution need more representation for change to happen. So more women need to be in those systems or those spaces. And youth, of course, work youth go away too, but work people who suffer at the end of the day. So we need to take that. So I take that seriously. And if you run it, then in Queen Atem is a mental health practitioner, a former WUSC student, an advocate for diaspora rights and responsibilities and participation in South Sudan development and country building. So thank you so much, Kwe. I'm inspired by that. Maybe next question about Yena Lake to ask. But really, your point resonating. Thank you, Santino Deng. Thank you, Betty Gatim, for participating in the chat. If you have any question, please put your question in the chat. I'll book our question to turn on the platform. But really, thank you for sharing this message with many people. And thank you, Kwe, for being so elaborate and articulate on these issues. I'm really learning. Take it away, Alakir.
Thank you. I was an event once, Sukulit, and this lady of Canadian background come up to me and say, "Hey, this is my card. I tell stories. Contact me." And at that moment, I was working, catering. I had to be nice and be like, "Okay, thank you," and then I left. But upon further reflection of somebody else telling your story, it most of the time is not from your own point of view. It might not be empowering to you. And I'm talking about a lot of stories in Yitkek about South Sudanese or South Sudan are not empowering. And we took that as a collective responsibility. Anyone who has had a privilege of interacting with the rest of the world from South Sudanese descent and heritage, it's your responsibility to shape what people know, think, perceive about you. And that's why we also have the U-turn. So when you mentioned, Kwe, about giving a presentation on your gender studies class and talking about cultural aspects of your culture in an empowering way, I was moved, and I really hope to hear more of those stories out there. So in terms of using culture to create change, sorry, 1 second. I want you to reflect the culture because you are from a clinical background, you work in mental health. How can we use culture as an empowering tool, both in families, in the society, but at the same time, how we portray ourselves to the rest of the world as Kwaikabo, South Sudan?
Thank you so much for that question again. Yes, culture. Everyone need to know, and you have to have an idea who you are. And without culture or knowing who you are, it conflicts your mental health. It actually affects you, because I have some client coming to me and say, You ask them what's going on, they will say, I don't know who I am, I'm confused, I don't even know I am real. You know, these are sad stories to hear. And to use the culture, we need the reason why I'm doing this. I mentioned this. I say, I'm doing this for you and for me, for my children. The reason why I say that, I want my children to have a heritage. They have to know what is their heritage. And the heritage is South Sudanese from this region, and this is what we do, ABC. So me, when I went back, one of the trip I went to South Sudan, I took my daughter. She was 17. I took her here when she was 16. She was in somewhere in East Africa. I will not say what country, but I took her to the country, and that time it was so hot. Even me, I cried with the heat in South Sudan. That was last year, 2024. So we took the flight. When we're inside trying to learn, she was taking pictures. She was taking a video of how beautiful it is when you come to Juba. And she said, Mom, I can feel it. I belong here. I can feel it. I belong here. I can feel it. And my heart, I'm like, Nyali Konymandia. I don't know what she's saying, but I'm so like, I don't know what she's the first time she's going here. She had never been to that country. So we learned and we went to a hotel. It's hot. I tried to make her to be nice places so she appreciate. But she said she wanted to go out. She said, Mom, I belong here. She didn't change her mind. Then one night she opened up to me and said, Mom, when we're in Canada, she said, Mom, South Sudanese kids in Canada, they feel stuck. I said, how come and why? She said, it's because we don't know where we are from. They've never been to that country. They say, for us, we don't know what happened here. And there in Canada, they ask her, we are South Sudanese, but we don't know where we are from. My daughter, she was there. She went to Dr. Biar Recreation Center. She would take motorbike. She would do anything that they're doing there. She was out and about. I was crying. I was going from hotel to hotel, like looking for AC. But she was out. She was out enjoying it, and she said she belonged there. I'm telling you, my dear South Sudanese, my daughter is not the same person again. When she came back, she's more motivated. She's more energetic. She take her school very serious because she said she know where she belongs. So to belong somewhere is very important. So I understand we have challenges. When we come to the West, we have challenges. And one of the challenges is when people preach that the instability in South Sudan, there's no security. So people fear to take their children back home. But I'm telling you now, my daughter have gone and she loved it. She want to work there. Even us taking them for just go and see, we will tell them about our culture here, but it's one thing for them to be told and another to them to go and see it and live it and be there in the present. There's a spirit. There's a spirit where you belong. When you go, you are welcome. You feel you are home. I thought it was just for me. I didn't know it will also extend to my own child. She could feel that belonging. So with mental health, we need self-care. When we talk about self-care, include, like you see people going on vacation. People here, they go on vacation, even though they don't have money, they have to find that time to go outside of Canada, somewhere exotic, for you to, take care of your mental health. So the culture we are teaching our children, yes, we teach them we are Dinka, we are Nuer, we are Chulu, we are like this, and this is the language we speak, and all that. But our children need to experience home. They need to experience home. I'm telling you what I've done and what I experienced myself, even with my own mental health. I feel better. I feel boosted. I feel energetic when I am back home. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. I also feel the same way. So hopefully soon I'll go to get energized. Akwal, take it away.
No, yeah, it just reminded me. I came back in 2023, last year January. So it feels like 2013, 12 years ago.
You need to go back.
I need to back. It's only 1 year, but I feel like yes, Balaten. But you know, Balatiti back home. Can share can only detail to when be am batani aja come them paying. That's how I feel. And then when I come back, one balloon land airport, can I hear you come them batani you boom. Come back.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah, you need that. You need that for your mental health to be better and function well. You need to take care of your mental health. But we neglect our children. We don't think our children also are affected. Like even a 1 year old can be affected mentally. We don't understand this as South Sudanese, but mental health is very important. And another thing that I want to add on, sorry, we don't understand because we think mental health is when somebody's out on the street running naked. That's not the mental health. Small thing, even your mood, even aggression, you feel aggressive, you feel, these are all mental health. You are affected. You need to find a way um, to boost yourself mentally. If it's something that deeper than you now, you can seek counseling. And I'm available. A call, you mentioned it. I am available for my people. Somebody need, like, also let me mention quickly, back in 2022, we have launched an organization for lost boys and girls. I need to announce this to you here on this channel. Um, the Lost Boys and Girl Memorial Foundation is a Canadian. We have registered it federally. It's functioning. It's intact, and I am the director for that organization. And my colleague Chagai um, is also intact, and the one of the active directors with Lost Boys and Girls. So is Chagai specialized in law and crime, and I specialize in mental health. So if you need more information, you can inbox me. We will send you the link. We have a website, and this is Canada. If you need counseling, you need to talk to somebody, you just inbox me.
Wow, 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 wow. Thank you. And also what another small world. Is it Francis Chagai working with you on this?
Yes, Francis Chagai. Yeah.
Oh wow! Thank you, thank you. Actually, Francis Chagai is a mentor to me. He met me in BC in 2014, 2015 when I just come, and I
Wow.
was in active car community, and he actually, hold my hand and introduced me to community, board community in Canada to participate, in community development and building here in Canada. I even facilitated my transport. I went to
Wow.
Calgary. First time I went to Edmonton to go and participate with our community in our community affairs. So thank you to know that you are also connected with Francis Chagai, and you also joined U10 few weeks ago to come and speak about cybersecurity. So it's a
Yeah,
small world.
yeah, it's the one for that. Yeah, we did a launch in 2022 right here in Regina. It was big. There was many people. It was beautiful. So we have programming going on. We have programming going on for that, and we have seen the key places we have identified for our people that they need help with is crime and law, like justice system, and that's where Chagai is specialized. And then we have seen mental health because we see our children where they are going because of mental health. Yeah, those two places are very important, where we are affected the most, the diaspora community. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And now you are talking, I like it when diaspora have come to realize what problem they need they have and how to address them themselves, and also connecting with people back home so that we are not forgotten. We have shared in the suffering of our people back home, and now working our country, I suppose buku now place as well for recognition and for participation in the building. And that take me to the next question about the role of diaspora. So that question is, in what way can diaspora contribute to economic development in South Sudan? I know once you mentioned, one, we are stable here, one on mental health, achieve tackle law and order, what are empowered economically here, then that love we take it back home and be recognized. I know many people, including myself, every one of us in a project back home in one way or another, or you are having people that are you supporting them back home. But
Yes.
from your own work experience, how can we, make this work be known or be recognized, and how can we even double down on it, considering how the economy in South Sudan is going down right now?
Yeah, thank you again. Yes, when I start the diaspora affairs, that's one of the things, the project, when I wrote that project, that's the key, that's what I have in my mind. It was the empowerment, economical empowerment back home. And so what I come to learn, are you guys hearing me? Are you hearing me?
Yes, very
Yeah.
clear.
So what I had in my mind from the research is our people like diaspora, when I say that they hope economically to establish this nation, and they're already doing it now through remittance, family support, like organization support, like donation. We do donation all the time. Now we do donation all the time, and investment. But South diaspora are afraid. They're afraid because when we try to make an investment, we try to send money and start a small business, that money go in the wrong hands and it's not managed well. And there are so many diaspora, I'm sure, let them inbox me, who have had a broken heart from them investing so much, and then everything collapsed or the money is gone. So when I wrote the project, Diaspora Affairs, one of the proposals and why we need it is for us to establish an office there in Junub. In this office, that's where we run everything. We need to have a banking system, a bank that we can collaborate with, like a bank that we can collaborate with and say we need a diaspora branch within that bank. So that when you are diaspora and you are back home, like where you want a call, you can go to that bank and open a bank account, and they know it's for diaspora. So when you have the bank account, when you are here, you'll be sending money into your bank account. Okay, you'll be sending into your bank account, and that money will accumulate over time. And you have your plan in your head. You know what you're going to do with that money. So by the time you arrive home, you can actually go to your bank by yourself, without sending it to anybody that's gonna misuse the money. Go get the money out and go start whatever project you want to do. That's one of the reasons why we need diaspora affairs office in South Sudan. Then another thing is for us when we go, yeah, even your experience, you have family, yes, but you need connection. You need a place where your issues can be heard. Someone would go, she would send, like someone would send, this is true story. Someone in Australia sent over 100,000 to his brother to go and build a house. He keeps sending. Then now he said it's time for me to go see the house. When the guy arrived, there's no house. He went mental. Like he could not like the pain. It was too much. If there was a diaspora office, you would go there and they can problem solve or support him in a way. So we need to avoid those things for us to help truly establish and support the economy development in South Sudan. We need to have a banking system. It's one thing to donate money to whatever organization, but it's another for you to have your fund in a secure account, and when you go, you can access them and do your project. So we are helping diaspora. Send what you can for your family. Send school fees, and whatever you have that you can, just for helping. But let's have planned. Let's just not send money randomly, but have a plan in place. And diaspora affairs office is what is going to help with all those things. Another thing also, for what I mentioned earlier, our children getting deported and being left there with no connection. They need a diaspora office for them to have, like, a transition place where they can actually be welcome, someone there helping them to know around, and then now later they can transition into the community. Because remember, these kids were in a constitutionalized place. They were in jail. From jail, you are dumped onto the street where you don't know nothing. So these are the things that diaspora affairs are going to address and working on. These are the reason why yeah. That's my answer.
Thank you so much for that answer.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh my
I
God.
don't
Can you
know.
hear me?
Yes. Maybe
I
someone
can hear
called
you.
your phone. Maybe you can log out and come
What
back.
happened?
But your question has been answered. Yeah, really well. So I will put in the chat about diaspora affairs. If you have question about it and you want to connect with Catherine about it, I put it in the chat again in the comment section. You can reach out directly to Catherine to hear more about what that diaspora affairs is gonna do for people in diaspora. I know last week Alakira and I we were joined by a table partner called Now for Tomorrow, and we were talking about partnership for impact. We know that across the board in diaspora, there are individuals and there are many organizations that are working to contribute to development of people in diaspora and people back home. And during
I
our
can
last,
hear you.
can you hear me now? Hello, please, can you hear me now? Yeah, Alakir, can you hear me? Maybe.
Yeah, in your ping a call, maybe the audio is not connected for Kwe.
Okay. Yeah. So while that is being fixed, let me just finish this. So we talk about how we can actually join hands and have a collaborative goal like South Sudanese table, because a lot of issues that we are trying to address that are the same. It's to bring youth to our community, to our people, and to our country back home. So that is why this conversation with Catherine Kuei today is very important, because she's that someone who has work in advocacy here in Canada, and she also went back to South Sudan to try to push for change there. Of course, she encountered so many challenges that she has to come back again to build from abroad, which is the title of today, the leading from abroad. It means we can lead by example. It means we can lead ourselves to greatness here, even in diaspora. We can organize ourselves. She was trying to say the history of investing back home, going into abroad, and how that has been flawed, because we South Sudan, we are very trusting people, and sometimes we trust investors or investment partners back home that don't even work in the best interest. But if we have institution and system like a bank where we can organize ourselves, we can invest there without being being victim of a scam.
I
And
can hear them.
that's what we was trying to discuss. I don't know if you can you hear me now, or it's not working.
I can hear you.
Oh, maybe your system, your microphone is not working anymore. Yeah.
Oh, why? Hold on.
Yeah. So thank you so much. We're copying. I think even I need an page Ben Queen Atem brief this background that she shared from the very beginning. And Ababella Pingala in the video, she's advocate for diaspora empowerment, for diaspora contribution back home. And she believes that, based on her work and her experience, we should have diaspora office back home and here. I know in Canada working on embassy on Ottawa at the capital, but a bit because our people didn't take it seriously. I don't know. I hear say because I didn't get a chance to see it. But the need to have, an embassy, the Chital Canada, good to US, there is embassy for South Sudan, and even unknown issues that American, South Sudan America are going through, they can connect an embassy and be help or facilitated, how to address them. But here in Canada right now, we don't have that space. And so maybe, yeah, maybe where it started, we don't know, and that is why we should support it. If you have different thought, or if you know other organization that is working in this space, you can please connect with us or with Kwe to see how we can join forces and advocate for diaspora. We know that, for us diaspora to be strong, we need to connect with ourselves, partner with ourselves, and address issues who work face here. And of course, you know we should not forget that not to be working. We need that for our children. When question korba dress, right? Culture, play a big role, and where we come from affect our generation. So young children that are being born here, they need to have the country be prepared, and that connection liberal lose if not we active road back home, we can easily be disconnected and don't even become irrelevant. So it's good to have a mind of relevancy with road back home, and that's why advocacy for unity, for peace, for progress, for the youth is really important at this critical hour where things right now are just hanging in the air. We don't know what will happen next in South Sudan. That's not my area of expertise, but can a policy student or someone who like community success, it affects me and it concerns me, and something that I bring up all the time. I know like Irin Gabriel next follow-up question before we close with the U-turn message from Quinn, but I don't know if you have some thought that have just come up based on the conversation that we have had and that I have reflected on. And I don't know for those who are watching, maybe if you have any thought, please put it in the comments so that we can contribute or engage productively on this topic. Alaki, take it away.
Thank you, Okwa. I'm just confirming March is the Women Empowerment Month. Yeah. So just to bring it back to that conversation of empowering women and listening to women. So empowerment will start from listening. If you don't really listen, you don't know what anybody's saying. And if you're watching today, I'll just encourage you to every day when you go about your day, do a little audit. How many women have you listened to? And I'm not counting people you're pursuing for romantic interest. Like, really, how do you connect with women besides that? And that's when you actually learn about women. You change your mindset and view of women, because I feel like there's so much divide that we spend so much time with our own gender that we don't have a connection to the other people, and we don't really have that knowledge transfer going in or build trust enough to share opportunities, challenges, and I said opportunities to be allies, opportunities to support each other, to share challenges, opportunities to learn about what your sister, mother, auntie might be going through. So I really like that we mentioned about the domestic violence aspect, and I feel like it's topics that we the everyday conversation I hear a lot, and I think this is the place to talk about it. I also believe that yes, the population she mentioned that the change is gonna come from the youth, and the youth will have to embrace unity. And embracing unity looks like having friends from different cultural backgrounds, um, talking to your friends, checking in with them, having empathy for each other, um, learning about each other. At the end of the day, you learn we're all just human. We're all flesh under the skin. We're all similar people. It doesn't matter who you call yourself, where you come from, you're all a human being. And recognizing that fact is the foundation of building peace, because if another human being is in pain, you also should feel the pain. So that's on that. In terms of questions for Kuei, I don't have any question per se. I think it's really wonderful we had this conversation at the end of the month, and we were able to speak with one of the forces, one of the inspiration we look up to Kuei. And I feel inspired as somebody who's come online and talk about women empowerment, youth empowerment, to see Kuei and to learn about Kuei's story of doing something. So I want you to take out an action, like from this conversation today. Maybe take a piece of paper or pen, or go on your note app and write down one thing you are going to do. It could be having a conversation with someone about one thing you've had today on the U-turn, because that's where the real impact is. If you are coming here to listen, close the phone and that's it, I would be very sad that Kulwel Kutanet doesn't really transfer to your day to day. So if there's something you're curious about, if something you've been thinking about and you want to share that, connect with another human being. That's how things get started. That's how things get done. And from there, you don't know what might happen. So reach out to the U-turn DMs, reach out to Akwal Philip, reach out to Kuei with your ideas, with your question. Try to engage online and offline, mostly offline. Talk about these things with your friends in your circles, and I'm hopeful things will change for the better. Yeah. So Akwal Kuri, if you want to go with the U-turn message or announcement for the next show, by all means, go ahead.
Absolutely, absolutely. So before we could talk about the U-turn message and announce upcoming, show that is very exciting, I really want to emphasize no point in that the way we will grow up, why you can socialize, why boys separately to girls separately in the context for why you and why Dinka in particular may not speak about other tribes. So growing up, nyan chat kan duala will duar chok I think a problem. Dungu to nyir chok what I think a problem. So we grow up in a situation where we don't understand each other's experiences. We don't understand. We are not socialized to know how to work together in school, for example, war kakuma na different now Canada, but war kakuma is school kaja rura ben kenim gape, miran ben ken kenim gape. It is understandable, right? Because those classes are very crowded, and I know because what you together so bad you nyalom kwenya and when talk adolescent till about go to and misbehave in class. And so it's good, and you don't want to be touched at that age. So that because it isolate, it's good. Now you will been in you take that in university it could be different now because you're mature and people can handle themselves well, but still that mindset that run to denga pe diara to denga pe chelu ente ni ben ati ko rutia ke war lar and there are look to take a pair or apple where to take a pair. Like there are no like social spaces where you interact. And when we grow up in different spheres, we don't understand each other. And that is why this conversation of today question is spotlight about challenges that are gender specific and which are also culturally perpetuated they're blocking progress somehow because now what can we grow with new today root then the other day root then now one office is where we need to work together to collaborate but now rurat because they are in position of power and they are in the majority now about taking this space you think different lens you think a professional woman that is coming with ideas that is coming with with things at national level, actually personal level. But now you see them getting. We need her to lower the tower. Now, because watching that experience, think that will not know how to behave herself in the circle of women because now these are in circle of men. Because there are so many men and all of them are dialogue now and you have not been exposed to be close with men, you cannot handle yourself with grace. In that space, you may not act in a bad in a way when that put you even more vulnerable or make you in danger. That's why conversation like this on the U-turn are very important because they start out to open up a space where women now can actually see that the challenges that they are going through. I don't say men don't go through these challenges, but I have not seen cases where okay now if you don't lower well opportunity because they are with a position of authority that demand that. And the fact is when woman is at the top there, they don't even desire men. But when men are on the top, that is, I don't know, it's a natural order or it's something that happens when a man is up there. they desire more women. So I would put it there, by a personal opinion and a research that, the higher, the status and hierarchy the women go, the less the desire go down to have fun with men. The more the men go up in the hierarchy in the status, the more they want all women now, or all women want them, and so they can now abuse women or exploit women sexually. To be very frank with what I mean here. So when we talk here on the youth and about challenges of women who want to break, the ceiling, who want to advance and bring about change in their communities, we need to speak about this socialization and how it impacts. Personally, and I love being in spaces where men are there. And I love men being in my space. But I have to learn on how to be in those spaces respectful and how to demand boundaries, when I need to. Or now, because until Canada, it's easy. There is law, there is system where you can hold people accountable. But for places that there are no institution that can support you, and there's cultural shame of coming out and even expressing how you are being mistreated, then women now become vulnerable. They're silenced, and they have to either coward to think that they don't want, or they end up being outside the system and not making any progress. Women, when you towel can lower, they are the ones that are running around. But what impact will that be? If women have all spaces to go and be who they are and bring change, especially in a country that is populated by majority of women, that will be huge, and that's why women voices are needed. That's why we are talking here on the youth, and that's why Lakiri is asking you to to go out there and act on teacher ping now we apologize because of technical issues. So this was just a beginning of conversation. We will have more chances when we work and share on the youth and to rally all of you to support her in the work um, she's doing and the impact that she hopes to achieve. So personally, my U10 message to all of you today, we would have said exactly what U10 message that you need to do is that you, Kenya woman, you, Kenya youth, you, Kenya diaspora, these three, you are the future and the hope for South Sudan in diaspora and also back home. So own it, challenges and struggle and opportunities because South Sudan are talking here. And it is up to you to use this responsibility, this moment, to bring about change. And so stay in touch. Now, link to it, and if you want to connect with Kui to get more information or get involved in the work that she is doing, link out, and there's a South Sudan Diaspora Affairs group that you can join and be part of that. On the U10 front, next week we have a conversation on mental health. So this work is going on that feel and experience of what mental health is from Kuei, who is expert in this. And so next we are bringing in another expert now from outside our community because we are connected. And we want to know how other communities are even tackling this issue and learn from them as well as they learn from us. The one way of telling our story and also hearing other people's stories and applying it to our own. So next week we will have the conversation about mental health for newcomers, South Sudanese newcomers in Canada and abroad, all over, and even back home. Come here prepared and listen to that great, wonderful CEO of an organization that is tackling mental health issues here in Canada for Black communities. So, and I just want to say thank you all for supporting our show today, for listening to Story Quay, and for supporting, for always supporting U10, sharing the message, engaging with our content, and giving us ideas and topics that resonate with you that we need to address so that we bring U10 in our lives, in our communities, and in our country. So thank you. And here, Nyala Kenaway with Jala Cholapias have a wonderful weekend. And as Alakir mentioned, this is the end of Women Empowerment Month. We have been advocating and bringing more women on the show. one gentleman too on the youth, but we have given more airtime to women because we want to spotlight and amplify voices of women in our community. And I am very happy that you have been very supportive, and I hope, as Alakir was asking, that you are taking this conversation to your homes and making sure they don't end on the youth and here on the platform. They are impacting your daily life. So Nelly Kenwake, have a wonderful day. Thank you, and thank you, Alakir. Thanks for joining always. Let's continue to advocate for the youth and for our people. Bye bye.